Good morning, students. Today we will discuss with a new topic in the same chapter, that is apomixis and polyembryony. Apomixis and one more term, that it is polyembryony. Okay, so here in the apomixis topic, see, in the last class is what you studied, that is about the seeds. Okay, seeds, embryo, how the seeds are going to develop. Okay, so all that things we had studied. Now today here, what are the products of fertilization or the sexual reproduction? Means that is the seeds. Okay, so here product after fertilization is the seeds, which is developing from the ovule. Okay, but in a few flowering plants, such as some species of Asteraceae and grasses, Here the two species are there, that is Asteraceae and grasses. These have evolved. Okay, they have evolved a special mechanism. These particular species have evolved a special mechanism. What is that mechanism? On what basis they are telling you? So that it is a special mechanism, that it is here it produces a seeds but without fertilization. Produces seeds without fertilization. What is that special mechanism? That it is these particular species of flowering plants are going to produce the seeds but without fertilization. Till now what you studied in the last topics, that seeds are going to develop after fertilization. Okay, after fertilization, after double fertilization, that is after the formation of zygote, then the embryo is going to form, then the seed is going to form. Okay, but here what they are telling, here it will produces a seed without fertilization, and that particular process is known as the plants which produces the seeds without fertilization. That process is known as the apomixis. What it is known as? It is known as the apomixis. Again, this question is very important for 1 marks. What do you mean by apomixis, or what is apomixis? Okay, plants or the flowering plants which produces seeds without fertilization, that is the apomixis. Okay, so here apomixis, it is a form of sexual reproduction. Okay, where there are several ways of development of apomictic seeds, and whatever the seeds which are going to develop through this process, that is the apomixis process, that seeds are known as the apomictic seeds. Which seeds? That is the apomictic seeds. So here the diploid cell, whatever the egg cell, see, in zygote formation or in double fertilization, what you studied, that here this is one male gamete first which fuses with the one egg cell, and they both will be haploid. What they will form? They will form a diploid zygote. What they will form? They will form a diploid zygote. What happens means, this diploid egg cell or the diploid zygote, why this fertilization, without fertilization the seed is going to form? What is the reason means, here when a diploid zygote is going to form, that diploid zygote without division, in this zygote there will be no reductional division. That means the Meiotic division is not going to take place. Okay, if like that is going to happen, so whatever the resultant cells will be there, they all will be the diploid. Okay, they all will be the diploid and develops into the embryo. Directly, this diploid cell will develop into the embryo without fertilization. Okay, so in this way, the apomixis process is going to complete. So what are the examples over here in the apomixis? Means that is citrus fruits. Citrus fruits such as the lemon, oranges. Okay, but here next they had given some other explanation about some other fruits or the some other species. Let's see. See here, next. In many citrus and mango varieties, in many citrus, citrus means the fruits which contain the citric acid, lemon, orange, grapes. Okay, in many citrus and mango varieties, you had seen different varieties of the mango. Okay, in that particular varieties, here some of the in these particular fruits, some of the nuclear cells or some of the nucleus, what we call some of the nuclear cells. Okay, you know the meaning of nuclear cells. Okay, you had studied the structure of ovule. In that ovule, you had seen there is a mass of cell. Okay, here this is the ovule mixer. Here there is the presence of a mass of cells. So what happens inside this? There is the presence of embryo sac. So these cells are the nuclear cells. In some fruits such as citrus and mango varieties, what happens means these nuclear cells which is surrounding the embryo sac starts dividing. Okay, in some cases, but in normal case, in a normal condition, what happens is here in this embryo sac, only the division will take place. That too after double fertilization. Okay, after double fertilization, here whatever the embryo sac is there, this is the embryo sac where three antipodal cells, two polar cells, two synergids, and one egg cell will be there. Okay, surrounding to this one, there is the presence of a mass of cell. What is that mass of cell? That cell we can call it as the nucleus. Sometimes, in some cases, okay, that is, I'm telling in some varieties of mango and citrus fruit, these nucleus cells or the cells which are surrounding this embryo sac, this will start to divide. Okay, till now what we studied? These fertilization will take place with these cells. That is one egg cell and one with a polar cell. Polar nuclei. So what happens in some cases, in some condition, these cells are going to divide. Okay, in normal condition, these cells will not divide. Okay, but here what happens? These cells, the nuclear cells, starts to divide. If that nuclear cell starts to divide, what is going to happen? Means this will these nuclear cells will divide and they will protrude from the embryo. Protrude from the embryo. Protrude from the embryo means they will, what they will do? They will divide continuously and they will enter into the embryo lines. Protruding into the developing embryo. Okay, understand? What happens in a normal condition? The cells will not divide. Only in certain cases, the cells will divide and they will protrude or they will enter into the developing embryo sac. So what they will develop into the embryo and such a species. That means if they are entering into the embryo sac, then there will be fertilization. Whatever the male gamete through a pollen tube it is going to enter, that will fuses with that nuclear cells. Okay, that will get fuses with the nuclear cells and such a species, each ovule will contain many embryo. Okay, what will be the result? Each ovule contains many embryo. Many embryo means that particular process is known as the polyembryony. What it is known as? It is known as the polyembryony. Directly, we can say occurrence of more than one embryo. Here I will write. What is the definition or what is the meaning of polyembryony? Means occurrence of more than one embryo in a seed is referred as polyembryo or polyembryony. Okay, so this question will be asked for 1 mark. What do you mean by polyembryony? Okay, here you see, once again I will tell you. What happens means, in a normal condition, this is the ovule. So here, in this ovule, there will be presence of 2 integuments, 1, 2, and here in the center there will be presence of embryo sac. This embryo sac is totally enclosing a mass of cells, and these cells are known as the nuclear cells. Okay, what happens means sometimes these nuclear cells will start to divide. If it is dividing, the cells they have no space. If it will start dividing, so there will be no space. Okay, already it is totally packed. So what happens? The cells will start to enter into the embryo sac. Except that 8 cell, these cells will also enter into the embryo sac. When fertilization time comes, at that time, here the male gamete, what they will do? Go and get fused with the nuclear cells. Okay, in that case, what happens? Many embryo are going to develop into a particular ovule or a seed, and that process is known as the polyembryony. Okay, apomixis means development of seed without fertilization. That it is known as the apomixis. So here, this is about the apomixis and polyembryony. Here completes your chapter. Okay, so here I will give some questions for you. This particular chapter will, in your theory exam, this will be asked for nearly 12 to 13 marks. So that is the reason this is very important chapter. Now next, what are the gametes? Flowers. Then next, apomixis, polyandromy, dormancy of seed, perisperm, pericarp, then for 2 marks sometimes they will ask apomixis and mention its importance. Then next, that is for 2 marks. 2 marks. Here, first question: what is meant by monospermic development of female gametophyte? Monospermic development of female gametophyte. Then draw a labeled diagram of pollen grain. Then what is bagging technique? Then two strategies evolved to prevent self-pollination in flowers. Evolved to prevent self-pollination in flowers. The next one, what is self-incompatibility? Self-incompatibility. Okay, the next, sixth one. Differentiate between hypocotyle, epicotyle. Then perisperm, pericarp. Then colonization, collectile polarization, integument, perisperm, pericarp. Okay. So this is about the 2 marks. Next we will go for the 3 mark questions. Explain double fertilization. Draw a labeled diagram of monocot embryo. Then the next draw a labeled diagram of only embryo. Draw a labeled diagram of embryo sac. The next draw a labeled diagram of maize grain. Then double fertilization. Here, in 2 marks, one more question you added. Write the characteristics of wind pollinated flowers. And here, explain pollination in Vallisneria and use panel. The next one is the double fertilization. In 1 marks, one more question added. What do you mean by parthenocarpic fruits? One mark. Then draw a labeled diagram of monocot embryo. Monocot or else monocot embryo or else that it is grass in tree. The next one. Then for 5 months, first question, draw a labeled diagram of tiers of anchor, and explain the parts, mature anchor and explain the parts. Second one, explain the structure of mature ovule. Differentiate between megasporogenesis and microsporogenesis. Explain the development of 8-cell, 7-nucleate female gametophyte. This will be the questions for theory. Okay. So these all questions are very important. Please make a assignment. Okay. Thank you. In the next class, I will continue with the new chapter, that is reproduction in organisms.